Even if you're new to Chinese culture, you may have seen Taiji Chuan at some point, but what does the word Taiji itself mean? Tai often means extremity, such as Tai Kong or Tai Gu, whereas Ji means the utmost point, such as Beiji or Nanji. Together they mean the extreme utmost point. But what point is that? It is the most primitive state, where all matter originates from, like the empty space before the singularity emerges. Once, when there is a singularity, it forms the earliest dichotomy, the void and the existent, and within the existent, countless more dichotomies. This is the first partition of Taiji, whose forms also familiar to many, Liang Yi, or two standards, the yin and the yang. There had been a handful of explanations for what the yin and yang are: heaven and earth, strength and weakness, whole and broken lines. This is how you represent yin and yang, by the way. Yet all of these have one thing in common: the yin and yang are opposing, one being radically different from the other. I bet almost everyone has seen the symbol of Tai Chi before. Here, as you may guess, the black and white represents the yin and yang respectively. You may also observe that the borders are curved instead of straight, and in each territory there is a tiny circle of the opposing color. What those nuanced features convey are the core characteristics of how yin and yang interact with each other. If we look around, we realize there's no such thing as absolute. One can see a knife as sharp compared with meat and blunt compared with diamond. The curved border in Taiji's image reminds us of the ambiguity between yin and yang. Recall in the first episode, we learned how nothing stays constant. There is always some change which can transform into yang and vice versa. The aforementioned circles indicate the potentiality of yin and yang to transform. There are 4 stages of this process, which partitions yin and yang further into sixiang, or 4 phases. When each state is stable, young, or on the rim of transformation, old. Thus forms the cycle of 4 denoted by 2 strokes. After understanding the 2 fundamental states and their mutual conversion, it is time to represent some objects. And to do that, we need an additional stroke and a whole new method of comprehension. Stay tuned for our next episode, where we see how the 8 trigrams are derived.